My name is Kamaali Annet. I am the Senior Legal Officer in Uneb. Today we've been before His Worship Adams Byarugaba over an examination malpractice case involving over 30 suspects. The genesis of this case was in PLE 2025 in Kassanda, where the DIS connived with the head teacher of a school called Nkoba Primary School. They cut an envelope, they pulled out papers, and they kept taking photos and sharing with other schools. But at the heart of this malpractice was this school and the head teacher with the DIS. That is why the case became so significant, because it's the first time we are seeing a district official engaging in examination malpractice. The first time we came, about 7 people pleaded guilty, and they were convicted and sentenced to 1 year and a half, 1 year's imprisonment. The other ones were still at large, among which was a scout who had been deployed to oversee exams at that center. So when the scout came for a hearing, he was supposed to come as a Uneb witness, but given the nature of the offense, he could not testify, as there was already evidence of malpractice that had happened in the school. What we need to note is that the nature of malpractice could not be detected during the time of exams. This was detected after. The arrests were made after PLE. And this is when we managed to discover that the epicenter of the malpractice in PLE 2025 was Kassanda. So yesterday, on Wednesday, 7 convicts, 7 suspects, or accused persons, came and said they pleaded guilty and said they actually committed these offenses. So today was the day for reading the sentence. So they appeared before His Worship, and His Worship, considering different factors, he gave them a custodial sentence of 1 year. We should note that the Defense Counsel had requested for just a fine, because these ones were first-time offenders, they are teachers, they have families, and so he wanted that court considers all those factors and gives them a sentence, a fine, instead of a custodial sentence. In the alternative, court also said these teachers ought to have been good custodians of the examinations. Results of candidates were cancelled as a result of their acts, and no one knows what is going to be the fate of those candidates whose results were cancelled. So court decided to take a slightly harsher approach and sentence them to a custodial sentence of 1 year. What does this mean for the board? Whereas we would have liked to have 5 years as the law provides, or a fine of 20 million, it's not possible, because the parameters court considers to give its sentence are different from our feelings, are different from what we would emotionally want. So, being a court of justice, we have to respect the decision taken by court. We also welcome it, because we know that once they are inside, first of all, it has sent a signal that now you can actually be sent in jail for engaging in examination malpractice. Secondly, it works for the board, because next year, by the time we start exams, this year, these suspects or these accused persons will be behind bars. So we anticipate that we shall have less notorious cases of examination malpractice. Given the nature of what we were doing, it seems it had been a consistent pattern. This was their 40th day. So for those 2 schools, results were cancelled. We have over 90 candidates whose results were cancelled as a result of the acts of these convicts. Whereas it looks harsh that we are taking a stand against the candidates, the public needs to know that the candidates are not as innocent as they claim to be. First of all, they are briefed. The candidates have the power to ignore or to refuse external assistance being rendered to them in the exam. And to make it worse, when these candidates appear for a hearing, they are so adamant, they will not even be remorseful to come and tell you the truth. They have been coached to lie to a panel of adults that they were not assisted. Yet there is glaring evidence, first of all supported by the court cases that are going on, and script evidence. Script evidence is what is the primary piece of evidence that the committee considers. This is a just corroborative evidence. But I implore the public, parents, speak interest in these cases. Know who is doing what. There is a school which wanted to beat up the head teacher because of aiding or pushing for malpractice in their school. So I implore the public, first of all, put morals in your children to reject any form of malpractice. What is